I like how we're playing both silence and statues at the same time.
I'd taken a mouthful of beer and then I realised we were supposed to be being silent.
Ask the Hosts, episode 20. I'm Joe.
I'm Popey.
I'm Gary.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Martin.
Hello, everyone. Full house again. And it's a bit like Linux Matters After Dark today, seemingly.
Oh, very good.
Linux Matters ++.
So the idea of this show is very simple. You send in your questions to us to show@askthehost.com and we answer them. The catch is that can be about anything except for Linux and open source. And before we start, just to thank you to everyone who supports us with PayPal and Patreon. We really appreciate that. You can learn more at askthehost.com/support. And remember that people on Patreon get these episodes 2 weeks before everyone else. So this episode is coming out for patrons on Christmas Day. So I asked on Mastodon for Christmas-related questions, and we got loads of them. The first one from Stefan. What's a Christmas dish that you love, and what's one that you hate?
Well, I love the straight-up full Christmas dinner. And there's not any one part of it particularly. It's just that whole ensemble of things is just comforting and delightful. I love the full Christmas dinner.
I think you mean bland and boring and rubbish.
Bland? There's nothing bland about a Christmas roast.
Well, maybe the way my family cooks it is why I don't like it. But that is the one thing that I don't like is turkey and just roast generally. Do not like it.
Oh, interesting. So on my mum's side of the family and my in-law's side of the family, it starts on Christmas Eve with roast gammon and then the turkey on Christmas Day. So on Christmas Day, you have the gammon from the day before and the roast turkey. Now, I'm not a fan of the dried out white meat on a turkey. I'm a dark turkey meat eater. That's my preference. But then you've got, pigs in blankets and stuffing and roast potatoes and Yorkshire puddings and all the vegetables and bread sauce and cranberry sauce and gravy on top. It's just mega. I love it.
For me, it is very specifically the pigs in blankets are the highlight of. I do like the whole thing. I'm not such a fan of like Brussels sprouts and things like that. But no, for me, the thing is pigs in blankets. One year when I was about 12, I had the flu on Christmas Day. And I sat down for Christmas dinner. I ate one pig in blanket and I threw it up again.
Oh,
that was it. That was Christmas over for me. I went back to bed.
You think that would have put you off?
It's interesting you mention not the sprouts, because although I said it's the whole thing, my actual favourite thing is the sprouts, but specifically, like on Boxing Day, if there are leftover sprouts, I have been known to make myself a large cereal bowl of Brussels sprouts with gravy and bread sauce, and I am as happy as a happy thing with a bowl of sprouts and gravy and bread sauce. I love that.
You know the right way to eat sprouts is raw and in a sandwich, chopped up finely in a sandwich. They're delicious, nice and peppery.
Mark said about being ill or hungover on Christmas Day.
I wasn't hungover. I'm just stressed. I was 12 years old. I was not hungover.
Officer.
I've been hungover many times on Christmas Day, though, so I sympathise.
I have a related story from Christmas 2002. Over at the in-laws, I was sat next to father-in-law and opposite brother-in-law, and Claire was not very well, having had quite a bit to drink on Christmas Eve. And so we were all sitting around the Christmas table, except Claire. She was not feeling very well. And her brother from opposite me joked, maybe you might be pregnant. And I quipped, well, since I've been travelling, if she is, I want to know who the father is, as a joke to try and deflect, because we were trying for a child. And then her mum finished her mouthful, put her knife and fork down and said, it's not what I hear. I hear you're at it like rabbits. So that is my favourite Christmas dish, is Claire's mum.
Well, I have discovered recently, is it called panettone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I could inhale that in a second, yes.
I'd never had it before, I think last year, and my wife bought one. I looked at it, I thought, that doesn't look very nice at all. Tried a bit of it. Oh, wow, that is one of the nicest things I've ever eaten. So that is very much my favourite Christmas food at the moment.
That is a good shout.
Mine is pretty similar. It's the Christmas cake that my mum just feeds with alcohol for about 3 months before Christmas Day. She's got it on top of the fridge, and every day she just pours more brandy in it. and then leaves it.
That is the right way to do it. I mean, the best trifles are the ones that have been ruminating in sherry for about a month.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what she does. Like, I'm sure half the weight of that thing by the time that we eat it is just pure alcohol.
It sounds fabulous. I want some.
I think I'm the only person in the household who likes Christmas pudding. That's the thing you turn upside down and set on fire, isn't it? That thing.
Yeah.
I like them because I'm the only one who eats them, and we get given them, and they come in like gifted baskets and, you know, packs of cheeses and port and stuff, and there'll be a Christmas pudding in there, and I'll think, well, that's mine. And so I love that.
See, for me, the Christmas dish that I hate is pretty much any traditional Christmas dessert. I don't like Christmas pudding. I don't like Christmas cake. I don't like mince pies. I don't like panettone. The only thing I will have is a chocolate Yule log. I'll have all of that.
I don't like any of the Christmas pudding and Christmas cake either, but for some reason panettone I just really like. And also I love the Roses Celebrations Quality Street.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that counts, but that's just chocolate.
Yeah. So, again, my in-laws, they were all about, what is it the ambassador used to spoil people with? What's that one called?
Ferrero Rocher.
That's the one, Ferrero Rocher, which I've never quite enjoyed because I always felt it was a bit like trying to eat a limpet mine with all of that sort of hard exterior and all the nutty, you know, rough edges.
Sorry, with all due respect, you are wrong. That is a delight in the mouth because you can pick off all the little nutty bits, or you can lick off the nutty bits and the chocolate and you're left with like a shell, and you can break that open, and then inside there is the like Nutella-y type stuff, and there's a surprise nut inside. It's glorious.
But it is just like eating a ball of Nutella, which is great because what I look all through the year for is to just an excuse to eat Nutella by the teaspoon out of the jar. And Ferrero Rocher is the perfect excuse to do that. It's just a vessel to get Nutella into my mouth.
Yes. When are we getting sponsored by Ferrero Rocher, Joe?
Why did we start with this? I think we need to move on before I have to go to the garage and buy chocolate in the middle of the night. Mike asks, do you buy presents super early, at the last minute, or somewhere in between?
Yes. Next question.
That's also my answer. I try to have a day every year where I go to a random location and do all of the shopping in one day. So I'll go to London or Manchester or somewhere I know I can get everything. But inevitably, I forget something, or I decide that the gift I've bought someone is terrible, and then I'm 3 days before Christmas trying to get it on Prime or something.
So I do the same. I try and get everything on one day, and that one day is the 24th of December in Oxford Street in London. And for many years now, I have had a family tradition of driving straight to central London, parking in the nearest NCP or whatever car park, having a coffee in a coffee shop, and then walking down Oxford Street and diving into all of the big shops and getting all the necessary Christmas presents, where Claire has bought the majority of the Christmas presents over the previous 3 months. What I'm actually buying is presents for Claire and a couple of other people. But I love doing that because the kids started getting involved in it. And that involved like kicking them out of bed early on Christmas Eve, going out. And it meant that back at home, presents could be wrapped and there was a bit of calm without the kids there. But it also brought up an amusing time when, as we turned from a road onto the M3 to head towards London, Sam looked out of the window of the car at the sunrise and said, "Oh, look, it looks like a Minecraft sunrise." No, dude, other way round.
Well, I get all my presents in one place as well, and that one place is generally my bed. 4 or 5 days before Christmas, I remember, oh shit, I've got to get my nephew and niece something. And by get them something, I mean, I need to transfer 40 quid to my brother and then text him to say, I've sent you 20 quid each for the kids. Job done. They're the only people who get presents. Adults in my family have all agreed, let's just not do this. And so it's just the 2 kids. And so my life is so much easier since we agreed that.
We had a similar arrangement to simplify our lives, which was, as a family, we agreed that the adults were going to stop doing presents and we were just going to focus on the kids. Because I live in a world where I've got 7 nieces and a daughter and there's only 3 years between them all.
who's the breakaway rebel who actually started buying for the adult? Even if you've got that rule in a family, generally someone will go, I know we've got that rule, but I had to buy you this because I saw it. Well, who was that?
Fucking Julie. Hello, Julie.
Yeah, Julie. Oh, bloody hell.
She's the only one. She's the only one that ruins it for us all and makes us feel bad. But yeah, no, we did. We agreed it was all going to be about the kids. And then I got into starting to make like retro era Raspberry Pi consoles for each of the kids because I wanted to introduce them to computer games like in chronological order. Like, you know, you've got to start, you know, way back. And so this idea of like making it simple, I massively overcomplicated for myself because for like the last 7 years, I've been churning out 8 reproduction consoles every year. And you will have seen my office, which is laden with all of these parts for, you know, producing all of these sodding consoles or prototyping them and all the rest of it. And I have another large stack of them here.
So I get paid in the middle of the month. So my Christmas shopping tends to start when I get paid in the middle of December, which is quite convenient because the money I get on the middle of November usually goes onto my partner's birthday, which is at the start of December. Otherwise, I'd be trying to do it all on November's pay, which would be a pain.
Digital Fox asks, what's one of your holiday celebrations or traditions that surprised others the most when they found out about it?
Snow house.
Snow house. Go on, tell us more.
So when I was a kid, my grandparents, they made this little house out of hardboard and an absolute ton of cotton wool and glitter. So it looked like a little cottage covered in snow. And then you could take the roof off and there were presents inside. So we'd have the presents under the tree.
Oh,
then
wow.
after Christmas dinner, we'd have snow house. And when I was a kid, that was always the most exciting bit. Never mind all that rubbish under the tree. And then, then later on, I grew up and got a partner and had Christmas with other families. I was like, oh, no one else does snow house.
The quirky Christmas tradition in the in-laws' house is Uncle Tony playing Hide the Sausage.
What?
And this is every time mother-in-law leaves the room, Uncle Tony will take one of the little tiny sausages that you get, not wrapped in bacon, just a sausage, and he will hide it somewhere in the house. And he will just leave it there and not tell anyone. And Sue will end up finding it perhaps months later. The thing is, the dining room in which we used to have Christmas dinner is festooned with trophies, awards, crocheted owls on the wall. And so sometimes a sausage would be on the end of an arm that was like a ballet dancer or something, and there'd be a sausage on the top, or a sausage would be knitted into a crocheted owl or in a cup on a shelf or something. He would just pop one sausage somewhere every year. And then Sue's on a steps dusting the top shelf where all the awards are, and out pops a little sausage that Tony put there 6 months before.
Is this Tony fella in pest control by any chance? Because that sounds like a recipe for vermin to me.
Actually, I think the preservatives you get in the sausages means there's no harm, and you could probably eat it 6 months later. It's fine.
So ours for the last 9 years is we have Christmas Day together at home, the three of us, before we go visit the family. And for the last 9 years, our Christmas Day lunch has been tuna rice salad. And that is now our traditional Christmas Day lunch.
Is that like a poor man's smoked salmon?
I don't know. How did this come about? We had it somewhere. We visited friends in the summer years ago and had this barbecue, and they made tuna rice salad. And Agatha, my daughter, is a bit of a fussy eater, and she absolutely loved this tuna rice salad. And to this day, it is her favourite thing. So whenever we say, what are we going to have for, Christmas lunch, all she wants is tuna rice salad. So for the last 9 years, tuna rice salad it is.
Can I ask the obvious question? Other than tuna and rice, what other are the component parts in this tuna rice, quotes, salad, end quotes?
Quartered piccolo tomatoes, chopped gherkins, chopped basil and parsley, chopped red onion, and then a vinaigrette made with olive oil and white wine vinegar, and that is basically it, just mixed together.
I'll allow it.
It's actually quite a nice antidote going into the Christmas season.
Now you ruined it by saying it's actually quite...
No, it is. It is.
It sounded good before.
It is actually really lovely, and we make far too much of it, and we eat it all. And like we make more than 3 people should be able to eat, but we stick it all away, and we sit there like leopards in the sun. These bellies full of tuna rice salad.
That just sounds like any cooking over Christmas. Make about 3 times as much as you think you need and eat all of it anyway.
Well, my tradition, which I kind of have stopped in the last year or so, but my tradition always was to spend Christmas on my own, because my parents would go and see the grandkids, my missus would go and see her family in Germany, and I would just have a day of absolute blissful peace and quiet with no work, no stress, no nothing. I would just get up, make myself a fry up with all the trimmings, bacon, eggs, sausage, all the rest of it, and then just get drunk on my own and just relax. And people find that a bit odd, I think, to spend Christmas on your own. But I absolutely loved it. I never used to like Christmas before that, but then I grew to really love it because this was just a day to myself. It was like the equivalent of a spa day where I could just sleep till whenever I wanted and just do nothing.
It sounds like you're the inventor of the original Jomo. I keep seeing this popping up around. Have you seen this Jomo meme that's going around at the moment? So Jomo is the joy of missing out, where you take a moment to actually deliberately not be permanently connected and disconnect yourself and just enjoy not actually joining in with everything else.
I've only ever once had Christmas alone, and that was 2020 and the Troubles. And I had a glorious Christmas dinner of whatever the fuck I wanted.
Exactly.
I happened to have a fabulous steak and some asparagus and some wonderful mushrooms smothered in garlic butter. And it was amazing, and it made for a delightful change. And actually, yes, I am a big advocate actually of a stress-free, I will make food when I'm hungry, I will eat when the food is cooked, and I will do whatever the fuck else I want to on that day. And it was a great day.
Yeah, this does sound pretty blissful, because when I was in my early 20s, my Christmas basically consisted of driving around all the other people's houses who were not mine. And it was like, right, I've got to go to my parents, and I've got to go to my grandparents, and I've got to go to my girlfriends. It's just like I spent most of Christmas Day driving around the country, seeing people, not being able to drink, not really being able to eat because I wasn't in the same place for long enough.
Or eating 6 times.
Yeah, there was one Christmas where I had about 4 roast dinners in about 3 different counties, which was great. But it wasn't particularly enjoyable. Doing a 200-mile round trip on Christmas Day is not really my idea of relaxing.
In recent years, a new family tradition has emerged, which is when we get to my in-laws, you hear the cry of the young people, which is the Nintendo Wii plugged in yet? So my brother-in-law had a Nintendo Wii knocking around, and about 5 years ago, he brought it over for Christmas and plugged this thing in. And our Christmases are now dominated. And, Grandma and Gramps are on rotation on Wii Sports with, the nieces and the nephew. And yeah, the Wii, alive and kicking in our Christmas celebrations. It's the cornerstone of our Christmas entertainment. It's absolutely fabulous. It hasn't aged at all. It's jolly good fun.
Speaking of catchphrases and driving, I think one of the big catchphrases you hear all year round, but a lot on Christmas Day, is, which way did you come? Did you come down the A34 or did you use the M3? And it's usually from the oldest man in the house.
Yeah, it's usually Ray.
Yeah, it's David in ours. Yeah.
He drops the A and the M. Did you come down the 34 or the 3?